Hey guys, got myself a little room now, so I'm not just talking to you in the white void. Okay, it's better late than never. Been nearly a year and a half since I actually did this run. It's an all-collectibles speedrun of Splatoon 3. I uploaded the full unedited version to my channel, but I never edited it down into an actual video, because the footage turned out pretty bad. But now I've looked back on it and realised I never actually made a video that uses surge rolls before they were patched, so I've never showcased this really cool speedrun skip. So if you can put up with slightly fuzzy footage, I legitimately think that this is a really cool and unique speedrun that I did ages ago that I never fully talked about on my channel. Anyway, let's get on with it, shall we? An all-collectible speedrun has pretty simple rules. You have to collect all the collectibles, and the collectible is a gold record, a sardinium, a decoration, or a sunken scroll. And these are only counted by the ones that are tracked on the map, so sardinium you collect through boss fights, and table turf cards do not count. Right at the very start of the run here, we have to go through the crater before we can actually get to Alterna and start collecting. And the very first skip we'll do doesn't even look like a skip. We just go on the far right of this little walkway here, and it actually you just walk past a cutscene and it doesn't trigger. Anyway, then we do level 1, which doesn't really have anything interesting, and level 2. Now level 2 is this really cool skip using a splashdown, because before you do a splashdown you rise really high up in the air, and that can actually activate a checkpoint trigger, so that when you do the splashdown and die because you're over the void, you respawn at a checkpoint, skipping the majority of the level. And then you can just climb up a wall to skip the rest of the level. And level 3 is even more broken. This little box here that you're supposed to use a key to open can actually just be skipped by throwing small fry at it. The hitbox for the ink rail is just slightly bigger than the box, so if you throw small fry in the exact right place, you can activate it without opening the box. But that's not all. The keys that you need to open this box here can actually just be accessed by doing a squid surge on the switch, and then you can activate the switch and use both keys, the one that you got on top of the box and the one that you carried from the first section, to skip the rest of the level. And right at the very end of level 3 we can quit and reopen the game, which skips another cutscene. And after doing level 4, we can fight our very first and last boss fight of this speedrun. Now, Octavio has a strategy of inking the ground to get a splashdown, and then using that splashdown to hit back the punches really quickly. It's a good speedrun trick, so I'll be trying to use as many splashdowns as possible. And unfortunately, something bad happened during the fight.
Oh, what the heck is happening? Controller's just disconnected. No, get back.
And now we enter Alterna. Now, the very first level of Alterna is called Get to Know Alterna, and it's basically supposed to be a required level, as it's the only way of collecting power eggs to get past the very first ooze. But if you could figure out a way to get past this ooze, then you could effectively skip doing the very first level. And in this version of the game, there is actually a speedrun skip called a surge roll. A surge roll is a very overpowered speedrun skip, and it basically glitches the game to make you do a squid surge and a squid roll at the same time, giving you heaps of height and letting you jump over lumps of fuzzy ooze. Now, there are 3 parts to a surge roll speedrun skip. Basically, the very first part is the same setup you do for nether skip, so you need to do a squid surge on the side of the ground, which is much more difficult than it looks. Then you need to do a frame perfect input, and it's been a very long time since I did this and I don't really remember how to do it. But you need to let go of ZL, and then 1 frame after you need to press the plus button to pause the game. Your squid icon should look like this just before opening the pause menu, and that means you've done it right. But then after that you can hold down on the control stick and press B to close the menu and launch up, doing a massive big jump and skipping past the very first ooze. Technically you haven't skipped past any ooze yet, but you can collect some power eggs and then clear this ooze to be able to skip into the rest of Alterna without even having to do the very first level. Now here, the Squid Surge is very easy to reset because I'm only about 20 minutes into the speedrun. But however, There is a squid surge right at the very end of the run, which isn't easy to reset. So if I mess it up there, then that's a big time loss, because I can't really reset. This speedrun skip has now been patched, which is really sad because now we can't use it in speedruns, and Nintendo doesn't really realise that these skips no person is ever going to discover unless they are intentionally trying to speedrun. So the only thing they do by patching speedrun skips is just harm speedrunners, and it creates a whole big problem with having to split the leaderboard into different versions, and how Tears of the Kingdom has it even worse. There's 5 different version categories on the speedrun.com page. Anyway, rant aside, we can now start collecting, and for that we need power eggs. The entire game is run on power eggs. You need them to clear away ooze, and this is especially important in an all-collectibles speedrun, as most collectibles are locked away behind lumps of fuzzy ooze. There are heaps of power egg caches lying around the overworld, and while this is enough for an any % run, we need more than that for an all-collectibles run. So I do need to do a couple levels throughout the run. The only ones I'm doing in Site 1 is Big Bang, Dance Party, and the Spider-Man level, which, by the way, gives a weird camera glitch because we never did the first level. I can skip past some ooze by jumping, or simply activating a level and then super jumping to it. As to super jump to a level, you only need to have activated it, not actually been there. I've not collected every single collectible in Site 1 yet, but I'll come back later when I have more power eggs. Now, at the end of Site 1, there's a speedrun skip called the... I don't actually remember what it's called. It's like a... It's a cutscene skip. You skip a really long cutscene. And the way this happens is because the cutscene trigger actually only appears until after the fuzzy ooze has been destroyed, and you can actually still go through fuzzy ooze while it's been destroyed. So you can clear the fuzzy ooze and then run through it while it's been destroyed, and the cutscene trigger will not spawn until you're past it.
I got it! Yay! Oh, that's really good. That's like a 1.5 time save.
Also, to make this run very fast, I will be trying to upgrade my gun and get curling bombs, which I'll do later. To upgrade, you need Sardinium and power-up points, both things we will be collecting heaps of, because Sardinium are required for the run, and power-up points you get heaps of when you collect gold records or decorations, which are required for the run. So upgrading is actually really easy, and we don't need to go out of our way to do anything extra. Anyway, into Site 2, there is lots of running around here. This is a very long route, and I had to memorize every single gold record, Sardinium, decoration, sunken scroll, and power eggs that I had to get throughout this entire run. I can't show every single Sardinium and scroll and record decoration I get, so just remember that every single site has a route which I memorized that goes on for ages. So I'll only talk about the mildly important things. Talking of which, balloons. Every single site has at least one blue balloon chase, which I just call blue balloons because it's easy to say. Now, these things work is that you have to hit a balloon and then hit another balloon and then hit a few more and then hit... It's basically a balloon chase, and right at the very end you get a sunken scroll. Usually you're supposed to clear away heaps of fuzzy ooze to be able to do these, but that would be a time loss as we had to collect more power eggs, so usually I like to do these sort of in between fuzzy ooze and do as little as I can. Also, I'll be collecting power eggs and other stuff during the blue balloon chase because it would be a time loss otherwise. We do not have to do bosses in this run, because I explained earlier, so we can go straight to Site 3. We've finished everything in Site 2. I collect some stuff in Site 3, and I can use Small Fry to hit some things to help save a little bit of time.
Cool, let's try.
The blue balloon course is really difficult in Site 3, or at least the second one, so I run through it beforehand, collecting some things and inking the ground so I can do it easily.
Come on. It's like gonna be a few seconds. Cool. That jump's a lot harder than it looks.
And then attempt the first blue balloon, which is pretty simple. Just around the sort of ice section of the map. I do a fun balloon level, and then this one. Professional speedrunners will tell you to use an ink brush for this level, but I'm not a professional speedrunner. Then it's time for the harder blue balloon chase.
Okay, now it's time for the really hard part. No, okay, now I'm quite... Okay, still got it, still fine. Whew. That's close.
This one I have not cleared nearly enough fuzzy ooze to do what is recommended, so there is a lot of super jumping and throwing small fry onto the balloons to buy myself a little bit extra time.
Oh. Grab this. Okay, and then super jump over here. Cool. Cool. I did it. And I've got all the collectibles.
After that, everything is done in Site 3, so we can go to Site 4. By the way, this run was before I learned how to do Moxie skip, so I'm not going to do that skip. I do the level with the floating balloons, which doesn't seem like it would have any speedrun skips, but it does. While waiting for the balloons to spawn, you can throw a burst bomb to the next area, saving a couple milliseconds. You can also get rid of the balloons quicker with bombs, and stand on this rail to shoot them as they spawn. Speedrunning a carving level with a zip caster and a charger might seem like a nightmare, but it's not actually that bad if you just memorize every place you need to shoot. The things that you need to collect in Site 4 are pretty easy to remember because it's nearly exactly the same as the any % route. I do Shiver Clip. Shiver Clip works in the sense that you activate this little power egg cache, and then if you just ram yourself in between it and the wall enough times, you can just clip through the wall.
Cool. That was pretty fast.
Which is a speedrun skip usually used to do Shiver early, but I'm doing this to get to a blue balloon. And after activating the blue balloon chase, we can jump past another lump of fuzzy ooze by doing a very cool looking speedrun skip with a squid roll.
Okay, cool.
And we can upgrade to curling bombs.
Not that one. I lost a run to that before. Accidentally getting the middle row. Because you can't get curling bombs if you do that.
I do Site 4's blue balloon course and collect stuff along the way, including 100 power eggs from Cali, which is something you don't really do in speedruns. And after collecting a few extra bits and bobs, Site 4 is done and we can go to Site 5. There's a massive ooze blotch blocking our way, but remember, you can super jump to any activated level, so you can throw curling bombs on top of this ooze pile, and they will roll on over and blow up the level, letting you skip past it in the world's slowest speedrun skip. This footage is sped up.
Cool. We need a faster way of doing that.
I do the Pac-Man level using curling bombs to get the power eggs from a distance. There is a lot of ooze we have to clear in this site, so I play through both Spider-Man levels. These levels are really quick and are good sources of eggs.
When is my armor gonna regain? Okay. That was terrifying.
I do the blue balloon, which is thankfully pretty simple, and do a skip called Baby Owen. It's called this because it's an easy skip that uses the same mechanic as Owen skip, which I'll talk about later. There's a sniper level, but it's pretty easy with curling bombs. And now we can do Owen skip, which we have to ink the ground using curling bombs, which is actually a funny strat. I've talked about this skip way too many times on my channel, so I'm just not going to.
Cool. Basically second try, that was really good.
Site 6 is many sunken buildings with no way to get past them apart from going across grind rails unlocked behind fuzzy ooze piles, which equals a lot of power eggs used. That means, however, I get to speedrun the really fun Site 6 levels. Well, most of them are really fun, this one's just running along a path. The other cool thing about doing an all collectibles speedrun is that you unlock every golden record, so the full Site 6 song gets unlocked while speedrunning, and the song sounds exactly like something you'd speedrun to. And this site isn't entirely skip-free. There's a cool jump you can do to get to one of the Sardiniums, and then you phase through a building.
Phase through a building? Are you kidding me? I missed both of them. I have a backup strat in case this happens, but it is a bit slow. Now, one of these has a key, but I can't remember which one. Wasn't that one. Should really just do an extra level in, like, Site 3 or something. This level sucks. I hate how this is the only Ultra Stamp level in Splatoon 3. It's like such a cool idea to use an Ultra Stamp. Better be at least one more in side order. Cool. Oh yeah, this is the last level that I have to do. Just get on. No. Okay, that could have been faster. Or whatever.
And finally, we can go on a joyride that is the blue balloon of Site 6. This one's a nice change, because it's really easy.
That's all of Site 6. Okay, now let's go finish off Site 1.
And the last thing I do is go back to Site 1 and clear the ooze to collect the last few things I missed. I do the squid surge I talked about earlier, and unfortunately I got it on my 5th try, which lost a lot of time.
Got it, okay, fine. Okay, let's check down here. I'm shaking. I'm stressed. Okay. Grab that. Time 1:11:10. Ooh, that was a good run, right? No, there's one I missed. Wait, when I missed? Oh, I know which one I missed. Okay, I'll have to retime that, but whatever. It's this one. Time, whatever that is. Cool. All 4 on all sides.
That's the end of the run. Now go away.